Okay, so we're going to try a different one. Now, it would be nice if our roots always were x equals 8, x equals 6. Wouldn't that be nice if they're always whole numbers like that? But you know, Algebra 2 does not work like that. So, here we're going to have something different, okay? We're going to do the same thing, but it's not going to be as pretty, okay? Here we're given an equation, alright? And I can tell that my A is 8, my B is 4, and my C is negative 5. Again, it's equal to 0, so I'm good to go. Okay? So I'm going to take these values and I need to plug them in. Okay? Plug them in. So, I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug in 4. I'm going to plug in 4. Again, my A was 8. So I'm going to plug in 8. My C was negative 5. And again, my A was 8. When I do all that and I simplify it, I get this. Okay, I get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus 160 over 16. Again, I need to solve this part called the discriminant, and that gives me 176. Okay, so now I have 4 plus or minus the square root of 176 over 16. The problem is if I put 176 in the calculator, it does not equal a whole number. So we have to reduce 176. And here I'm making a factor tree. Okay. And I'm doing that by saying, okay, 2 and 88, and you can do this in a calculator. 2 times 88 is 176, and then I reduce this one, 2 times 44, and then 2 times 22, and then 2 times 11. So if I multiply all of this stuff here together, it would still end up giving me 176. It's just done out. Now I'm looking for pairs because I'm doing a square root. If you do a square root, it's saying this number times this number equals that number. So in this case, I have 1 and 2 pairs of 2, which is the same thing as 4 and 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. So if I say 16 times 11, that's the same thing as saying 176. So I put that back in the house. So now I have the square root of 16 and the square root of 11, and I can separate those and say, well, the square root of 16 I know is 4. I don't know what the square root of 11 is as a whole number, because it's not. So, the square root of 16 times 11 is the same thing as 4 square roots of 11. Yay! Okay, and let's go back and look. Again, I had the square root of 176, and I said, well, I do know the square root of 176 is the same thing as the square root of 16 times 11. So the square root of 16 times the square root of 11 is the same thing. So then the square root of 16 is 4. That gives me 4 square roots of 11. Okay, so I need to rewrite everything like this. You would think you're done, but you're not, because this isn't. I don't want decimals, so I want to divide out though what I can reduce, right? Okay, so I can divide out a 4 here, a 4 here, and a 4 here. That gives me 1 plus or minus 1 square root of 11 all over 4. And when I do plus, I get this, 1 plus the square root of 11 over 4. And when I do minus, I get 1 minus the square root of 11 over 4. I still end up with 2 answers here. So x equals this, and x equals this. And that's it. You're done.